Hello, welcome to Walk a Mile. Today we have with us Mr. Pankaj Dubey, who is the country head and managing director of Polaris India. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, we wanted to discuss about your journey so far in your career. You have taken on companies, you have turned them around, you have steered them into new directions. Uh, what kind of strategies do you use? We wanted to understand because you've taken on different brands in different segments and steered them in a very new direction. Now you have taken on a new entrant into the Indian market.
So each case is different. It depends upon what is the brand, what is the category, what is the kind of the kind of a market which is there, and
Right.
accordingly you need to make your own strategies.
Right.
So cases that you have been referring to, like I entering into an IT company and
Right.
converting that into a telecom company, or diversifying them in a big way into telecom company, or going into a company like Yamaha, where the things were not doing well and turning that around, or launching Polaris. So each of the case is different strategies. So for example, like in Yamaha case, the the personality of an individual and the personality of a brand has to be seen, and one has to actually work around it. Like if my strengths are X, or my brand, or I am known as X person, I have to behave like that.
Right.
Can you imagine MS Dhoni, in a bowling? He's bowling, and we start assessing him on bowling, what will happen? So there are certain platforms. His captaincy, his the way that he bats, the way that he is a master, behind the wickets.
Right.
So similarly, each brand and each person has his own strength and traits that has to be identified, and then he has to play around that.
Right.
So these companies, when I went and I saw the strength of these companies, what is the strength of these companies? What are the areas that they should operate upon? For example, in Tex, when I joined, they were basically a IT hardware peripheral company, and but I saw a great resource in them, that they have a very strong, well-bounded network across the country. I also found that they are very strong on after-sales support. They're like concerned about if the customer has a problem, then it should be solved. And I thought that if that is the resource, can we use some other products which will really scale up the business? And then came the mobile phone. Why not mobile phone? And it came at a right time, and therefore they reaped the benefit. At Yamaha, the strategy was that Yamaha is always known as a very exciting product. They are world's number 2 in biking and two-wheelers. They were pioneers in gearless scooter, but in India what they were doing was, they were seeing the industry and they were trying to copy the industry. And that is one of the things that everybody should look at. You are looking outside the world, but don't try to copy somebody else. You should see what is your strength, and then have to build upon that. And that's exactly what we did at Yamaha. We were into a small space of 100cc and 125cc. We launched 1000cc plus bikes, and then we created a replica of those bikes into a small 150cc segment. And suddenly the perception of the people became, and the acceptability of the brand in India became very high, because now your personality is X and you are behaving like that. And that is what led to the growth. Coming to the current assignment, which is Polaris. Polaris is world leader in off-road vehicles, so it's a great company and great products. Now, but there is no industry in India. So, what do you do is that you have to see basically what is going to happen next. Can you create this market, or there is no market? In order to do so, you have to make a lot of analysis, and you have to think that whether this scenario will work or not. So the first thing that came to my mind was that they are leaders in off-road. In India, all the roads are like off-road. So if you can create a product which is street legal and which is having the DNA of off-road, people will love this product. And that's how these strategies came in, and and then very innovative concepts were used, because now when you are actually creating a industry, creating a brand is a tough job, very tough job, but then creating a brand and creating a new industry is on a different world altogether. So, and that is where you have to be at your innovative best. You have to think on strategies that would work, and you have to think on the brand, what is the DNA of the brand, and how can you leverage that DNA. And I think that is what we have done in Polaris, and that's how we have penetrated. We are now present across the country. The network is there. We have shown the product to who's and who's of the country. We have been, the Indian Army and a number of police forces, forest departments are using our product today. Also, we have created a very innovative concept of Polaris Experience Zone, which is what is very, very popular now, and we have about 74 of them in the country. We've used a combination of these strategies, and it's not any universal formula.
Yes. Okay. So coming down to focusing on Polaris, you said earlier in our interaction that you were the first employee of Polaris.
Yeah.
So how have you taken it forward from there, from finding an office for Polaris in India, and then to where you are now?
It was very interesting when I have to join Polaris. I gave a call to my boss in US to say, where should I join? And my boss says, look for an office. So that's how it started, and it was very tough because I was a business head at Yamaha. There were hundreds of people working under me, and you just say, okay, do this, and there are many people working towards that. And you are starting a company where you are the first employee, you are a startup. Now, if you do a great job, you have to pat your back, and if you don't do it, and if you do a bad job, you have to criticize yourself. Otherwise, then you won't be able to grow. And that's how I started. And very quickly, I got a very nice, good team. Most of them are with me still. And these are, and then we brick by brick we built.
Yeah. Coming forward to Polaris working in the defense sector, so how are you visualizing Polaris aiding the Indian Army or Indian defense sector in general?
So we have a we have product range which is very useful in off-road areas, and I'm happy that Indian Army have already started using our product in few of the sectors, and the relationship that we have established with them as a supplier is we have to cherish that relationship, because the kind of support that we provide and the kind of difficult terrain that they are moving in. So we also feel concerned that they should be properly supported so that they are in the best, in those tough terrains, they are with the best of the equipments, and the equipment is working fine. So we have entered into this area very strongly. We can't share the exact details of which area and all because the sensitivity is involved, but I would just like to summarize by one statement that came from one of the generals of our army, that Polaris is a lifeline of Indian Army now in this area. Okay. So that's like a moment of great pride that I created this brand in the country, and now the defense, the expert or the general of the defense making such a statement, and I feel very, whatever work I have done, it's a great reward for me.
Okay, so next thing I would like to ask you is about the Indian motorcycle. How is it doing in India? Because India is known for mileage, and you are coming with 1800 cc's plus. So how do you position that product?
So Indian Motorcycle is first of all America's first motorcycle company, and it's a great brand. You must have seen this movie, The Fastest Indian.
Yes.
And so this is a brand which is very, very loved in America and world over, including before we launched these products in India, there were more than 100 bikes which were imported by individuals from 1901 till we launched the product in India. And most of them, most of these customers are actually still using that product. So that's the beauty about the technology and the quality of those bikes. Now, the people who understand this brand, they know that we are not talking about mileage. I know that Kitna Deti is the first question that everybody asks in India, and thanks to Maruti ad. But our products are more to be used as a tourer, as a long distance riding, which helps which and our product equips the customer when you go on a long ride. It is very comfortable. It's comfortable to ride, though it looks 1800 cc for a motorcycle is very intimidating. But when you actually ride it, you will love the kind of ride it has, the smooth ride, the way that you are in total command on the road, and the comfort that it brings, the smoothness that it brings is amazing. So what we are doing is, in order to build that brand, we are conducting a lot of rides across the country where people get to see and experience these products, and they know the quality is out of the world. And at the same time, we are building community slowly. And we are spreading across the country. Today we have about 7 dealerships across the country, and we are slowly expanding.
The next thing that you have introduced, another segment, is the Multics. So tell us about that, because that is another new challenge that you're taking on. You have to educate the market, which is about a new segment, your new product. It's absolutely unheard of to have such a product, and I think it is specially designed for Indian market. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're absolutely right. So Polaris is a very innovative company. They gave snow scooters to the world. They're the first company to market the snow scooters, and they've given very innovative ATVs, the side-by-side razors. All of these products have been given. We have launched very, very unique products. That's the DNA of Polaris. And when we came to India, we felt that we should have a product which has, which is a street legal, which is can be driven on the road, but it has multiple qualities. And then we have a partner in Eicher, who contributed a lot in designing the usefulness of these products for the Indian market. So Multics is a platform where you can, as the name suggests itself, that you can use it for multiple purposes. So you can use it for your personal, as a personal car. You can use it for load carrying, and it can be converted into a passenger carrier all in few minutes. So it's a sort of a vehicle which you can use for like a small LCV, you can use for a small car or a passenger vehicle as a personal car. And it also comes with a very innovative and unique concept of electricity generation. So there's a power takeoff, which is normally in tractors you find it. So you can connect many of these equipments, and you can run that vehicle. So again, it's a very challenging product, because it's for the first time that any product has come with so many features. The best thing which I feel in this product is the DNA of Polaris of independent suspension, which gives this smooth ride to the vehicle in bad road conditions. So that's another great thing of the product. So we are again trying to establish that product in the Indian market.
So, lastly, your point, your plans going ahead with Polaris. How do you see the company growing into India, and what kind of new segments, since you're setting trends already with your products, what kind of new segments are you looking at?
See, right now we are into the core products that Polaris has. We also see a trend which is emerging in the country of electric vehicles. We have a full range of electric products, right from big bikes, which is by the brand name of Bramo, and then we have light commercial vehicles, which is totally electric. We have small cars, we have golf carts. So those are one product with a full product range in electric vehicle space, which we are right now very closely monitoring, and when the time comes, probably we can get into that segment. So Polaris is looking at the Indian market in a big way, but we are the Indian motorcycle itself has a huge opportunity in the Indian market. So the Polaris off-road has spread into the securities of the country, so it's like become very important for India as such to have these products, ATVs, in the for defending the country and for logistic support to our people who are defending this country. What we see is that over a period of time, Polaris would become, I won't call it a household product, but then definitely every household will know what Polaris is. So that's the dream that we want to establish, and we want to really be present in most of the segments that we are present internationally. we wish to introduce those in the Indian market and make it big for Polaris.
For one final question, what is your take on the executive MBA? I think you have done an executive MBA yourself. So people coming with experience doing an executive MBA, how do they contribute to the industry and how the industry should look at them?
If you see most of the management courses, the premium management courses that you get, you want to do names like Harvard, Morgan. Most of the time, they don't intake a student who has not had experience. And I have myself seen that when you have an experience of working on the ground and then you go through the textbooks, it is a lot more relatable. You can learn more and then you can implement in your day-to-day life. So therefore, I would prefer that people should undergo an executive MBA sort of a thing. In fact, even the management MBA degree itself should be with after some experience. Even if it is like 2 to 5 years or maybe 1 year, you should do the experience of working environment. What are the challenges? And then when you go through that, you will have lots of examples when you are studying because you already have some idea of working. But if you're going straight away as a student, unless you have a very high inclination of going into doing internships very regularly in every vacation that you have, it becomes very difficult for you to imbibe all the management theories that are being taught there. So I would recommend most of the people to actually prefer doing an executive MBA or even change the nature of the MBA itself so that the intake is only after the people have got some experience. Right now it has become like another degree, which is not very healthy, and that's where a lot of institutes are facing the problem of even the recruitment, and even the industry is facing the problem because the people who are coming out of the colleges have little experience, and then their expectation and it's not getting matched. So I think when I did the executive MBA, it was for me to upgrade my skills. The skill set, I've already done MBA, but then I felt that I must upgrade my skills, what's happening in the latest. So executive MBA is a great idea, and I think for the students and for all the premier institutes, they should give more focus in such courses.
Thank you so much, sir. It was lovely having you, and it was very enriching to hear you speak. You are very relatable, which we don't see very often. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be at Shillong. Best of luck to you all.
Thank you.